Welcome to Blood, Guts, and Booze.
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Kendrah, and this is a comedy podcast here to frighten you and make you question the world that we live in. So sit back with your favorite snacks and let's dive into this. Listener discretion is advised, as these podcasts are not for the faint of heart, nor are they PG. Hey guys, welcome back this week to Blood, Guts, and Booze.
Hello.
How you been, Olivia?
Working.
Yeah.
Tired.
It's the life, eh?
Yeah, you?
Oh, I'm all right. So, I hope that all of you are very excited because in just a few days, we will be releasing our first Oh Canada episode.
Fuck yeah.
But let's get back to today. So, today our first case will be me, obviously. So, let's dive in. I feel like this case is pretty well known, but a lot of people don't realize just how twisted this case really is. So let's set the scene. A pizzeria gets a phone call for a delivery. About an hour later, the pizza delivery man tries to rob a bank with a bomb around his neck. Seems crazy. Now let's back up. Brian Wells was born on November 15th, 1956 in Warren, Pennsylvania. In 1973, when he was 16, he dropped out of high school to become a mechanic. Years later, at the age of 46, he became the man delivering that pizza.
I love pizza.
Who doesn't love pizza?
I mean, I've mentioned before how much I love pizza, but I had one yesterday.
Ron and I recently watched a TV show. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's eluding me. But we were watching a TV show, Foods That Built America. And it was saying about the first pizza restaurant in America that became really big, and it was Pizza Hut. And it was the history of Pizza Hut. And I didn't realize that they were the first to really make the pizza how pizza as we know it is.
Interesting.
Not standard Italian true pizza. And that they're literally the biggest pizza chain. I didn't realize either that they were as old as they are. Yeah. Learn about Pizza Hut.
I heard once that pizza has been around for a very, very, very long time, a couple hundred years.
Yeah, but that's more so in Europe, Italy, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in America, it's only been around not as long, but yeah, guys, if you want, learn about Pizza Hut. It's very interesting. So anyways, just after 1:30 p.m. on August 28, 2003, Mamma Mia's Pizzeria received a phone call from a payphone at a nearby gas station. The owner couldn't understand the customer and passed the phone to Brian. The customer ordered 2 pizzas to be delivered at 8631 Peach Street, Erie, Pennsylvania. It was at a transmitting tower at the end of a dirt road.
Shit, that's actually not too far from us. That's only across the pond.
Yeah. Lakes. At the transmitting tower, he was met by Marjorie Dell Armstrong, Kenneth Barnes, and William Rothstein. A bomb was then placed around Brian's neck. The bomb was a hinged collar, like a handcuff almost.
Okay.
Yeah. There were 4 keyholes that went under his chin, a rectangular section that contained 2 pipe bombs and 2 kitchen timers. There was also an electric timer that hung down over his chest, along with several decoys, such as a disconnected wires, a toy cell phone, and stickers bearing deceptive warnings.
I like that they used a toy cell phone.
Yeah.
Instead of a real one.
From a distance, though, in the moment, you wouldn't really be paying that much attention, depending on the toy.
Yeah.
Toy guns have been used to rob many a banks, or many a store and things.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit of spray paint and you're good.
So it's cheaper to buy that.
Yeah. So and there's no wait list to buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So according to Brian's family, he was forced to wear the bomb by gunpoint, but the law enforcement believed that he did it willingly. Now, why would someone willingly put a bomb around their own neck, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. First, we need to learn about the 3 people that Brian met. Okay? So first we've got Marjorie Eleanor Dell Armstrong, born February 26, 1949. She had a long history of mental illness, including bipolar since she was a teenager. And before her mental health deteriorated in her early 20s, she was an excellent student and even earned a master's degree.
Good for her.
She's quite the character in this tale, and she's believed to actually be a serial killer.
Well, shit.
Yeah. So,
did not see that coming.
So in 1984, she actually shot her boyfriend 6 times while he was laying on the couch. She was acquitted of murder because of self-defense. Yeah. So picture it. Nick's laying on the couch. You walk up and just shoot him 6 times while he's laying there.
It was self-defense.
But it was self-defense,
I'm a woman.
Yeah. He had a penis. He had it coming. Several of her other partners have also died under suspicious circumstances from her past. Yeah.
Suspicious.
So next we have Kenneth Barnes. He was a retired television repairman turned crack dealer and was Marjorie's quote-unquote fishing buddy.
Probably did crack together.
Probably. Or they banging.
Probably did crack and bang.
Maybe.
Maybe it makes feel better. I don't know. I don't do crack.
So lastly, we have William Ansel Rothstein. William actually dated Marjorie and didn't get murdered in the late 60s, early 70s. He was a handyman and part-time shop owner. Or shop teacher, sorry. And one other notable person is Floyd Arthur Stockton Jr. He was William's roommate. He lived there as a fugitive, though, as he was a convicted rapist of a disabled teenager.
Ick.
Yes. Now, I couldn't find much just from my little bit of research of, well, how well Brian actually knew these 3 characters, but investigators believe that it was through a prostitute or sex worker that Brian knew or had used that Kenneth had sold crack to. So, over a month before the bomb was placed around Brian's neck, the group of 4 began planning the events. 2 witnesses confirmed that Brian had talked about the bank robbery about a month before it happened, and he was also seen leaving William's house the day before the incident. Now, Brian apparently thought that the bomb was going to be fake, so he agreed to wear it. He was then given a shotgun and instructed to claim that 3 black men had forced the bomb on him and were holding him hostage.
Ew.
I feel like that's at least the 2nd or 3rd case now that I've covered where it's pretend that a couple black men did this. Because in the Killer Mommies episode, I the one did that.
Yeah.
Stop blaming black people for your shitty
Some people's
lives.
fucking grandkids, man, need to be a lot more respectful.
Stop blaming other people in general.
Well, exactly, yeah.
But anyways, so Brian was instructed to quote-unquote quietly enter the PNC Bank and give the teller a note demanding $250,000 and to use his shotgun to threaten anyone who didn't cooperate or tried to flee. He entered the bank around 2:30 p.m., which is about an hour. It's exactly an hour-ish after he got that phone call to deliver the pizza. So this is all moving very quickly. He slid a note to the teller that stated the bomb would explode in 15 minutes and the full amount must be given at that time. The teller could not get the vault open that quickly, so instead she gave Brian a bag containing $8,702, and then he exited the bank.
Basically whatever was on hand.
Yeah. So at 2:38, a witness called 911, and according to witnesses, Brian seemed calm while in the bank. He waited in line, he sucked on a lollipop, and even walked out swinging. Yeah. He even walked out swinging the bag of money, and the one quote I found was, "like Charlie Chaplin." Yeah.
I was totally thinking, like, taking candy from a baby because he's got his lollipop and he just robbed a bank.
Now, this whole case, I'm going to keep going back and forth in time. So to skip ahead again a little bit, on Brian, when he was, later found, the police found 9 pages of lengthy handwritten instructions addressed to, quote, bomb hostage, telling him to rob the bank. There was also instructions that were basically a treasure hunt for Brian to find the keys to unlock the bomb from his neck. So they started with the first key, and each key would make it so that delay the bomb essentially, and at the end it would disable the bomb.
Yeah. Like your typical bomb scenario, yeah.
The note also claimed that Brian would be under constant surveillance, and contacting the authorities would result in the bomb's detonation.
Also typical bomb situation.
So, now fast forward. Or back up, I guess. So about 15 minutes after leaving the bank, Brian was completing his first task of the treasure hunt and proceeding to the next one. Hooray, he did one. When police spotted him, they immediately arrested him, placed him in handcuffs, and left him sitting in a parking lot.
That's great. We're going to put you in the middle of a parking lot. Basically leave you for dead if that bomb goes off.
They just left him kind of sitting next to, I believe it was his own vehicle, in a parking lot while they
had it surrounded, but far enough away, yeah.
So at 3:18 p.m., 3 minutes before the bomb squad arrived, the responding police officers did not attempt to disarm the bomb, but they did call the bomb squad within 10 minutes of arresting him. They instead focused on clearing the area of immediate pedestrians and ensuring that Brian could not detonate the bomb, like you said, clearing the area. So then at 3:18 p.m., 3 minutes before the bomb squad arrived, the bombs detonated and blasted a fist-sized hole in Brian's chest, killing him in seconds.
Well, shit, but if he was involved, karma's a bitch.
So police actually investigated that treasure hunt, and they found that he would have not had enough time to complete all the tasks, and he would have died anyways.
Oh.
So it's believed that Brian was killed so that he couldn't incriminate the others. Yeah. WJET-TV broadcast the event live on air. They did not show the bomb detonation, though, due to technical problems right at the moment, and provided the footage to the FBI. The video was later leaked by someone, and then they took it down, but it can still be found. I actually watched one video that blacked out the exact moment of the bomb. I seen the leading up to it about 40 seconds, and then you hear it go off, and then you see right after. It was not pretty.
I can imagine.
You didn't really see anything, but it was still like and right before he died, he's heard saying, "It's gonna go off. I'm not lying." And you could tell that he was scared from what I could tell.
Yeah. I think it would be, even acting that, you have to be real good to be able to make that believable than if you weren't faking that situation.
And for just some random 46-year-old pizza delivery man, he's probably not the best actor.
Probably not.
Especially considering he thought it was all going to be fake.
Probably got told last minute, hey, by the way, guess what? It's real. Have fun.
From what I've read, it's not 100% because it's speculation from what they've got, is that he got there, thought it was fake. They said, no, it's actually real. Put it on. They threatened him with the shotgun, then handed him the shotgun to go rob the bank. And in my head, I'm thinking, why don't you just use the shotgun then and be like, take the bomb off me? But whatever.
I mean, I guess it depends if they, what if they have a button and it's do it, or once I hit this button, if you try to shoot, we'll hit the button, and you'll automatically go up. And that was, I can see something like that happening.
So for a while there, the pizza bomber was a mystery. No one knew what happened.
Ooh.
Or why he did it or whatever. Then, on September 20th, 2003, William called the police. He claimed that there was a man in his freezer by the name of James Roden. Yeah. After he phoned the police, he wrote a suicide note indicating his planned death had nothing to do with Brian Wells. Investigators believe that William never actually tried to commit suicide, though. So, who's James Roden? Well, he was Marjorie's boyfriend of 10 years.
Oh.
William claimed that Marjorie had shot James during an argument about money. She then paid William $2,000 to hide the body and clean up the crime scene at her house.
Mm.
Yeah. In January 2005, so, a couple years after the pizza bomber,
Yeah.
Marjorie pleaded guilty but mentally ill in the murder of James. She was sentenced to between 7 and 20 years in prison. It's believed that she actually killed James to prevent him from telling the police about the robbery.
I can see that.
Yeah. William Rothstein died on July 30th, 2004 of a type of lymphoma.
Mm.
Then in April of 2005, Marjorie told a state trooper that she had knowledge about the pizza bomber case. After meeting with FBI agents, she said that she would tell them everything she knew if they moved her to a minimum security prison.
Mm.
So during interviews, she admitted to providing the kitchen timers for the bomb. She also stated that William was the mastermind behind the entire thing and that Brian was directly involved into the plan.
Oh.
Then in late 2005, Kenneth was turned in by his brother-in-law after serving time for something else. And after Kenneth had revealed details about the robbery, his brother-in-law turned him in after Kenneth had revealed details about the robbery to him. So on September 3rd, 2008, he pled guilty to conspiring to rob a bank and aiding and abetting. And on December 3rd, he was sentenced to 25 years. 45 years.
Shit.
Then on July 29, 2008, a judge ruled Marjorie incompetent to stand trial, and she was sent to a mental facility until she was competent. And by February 24, 2009, the judge ruled her competent. So then on November 1st, 2010, Marjorie was convicted of armed robbery, conspiracy to commit armed bank robbery, and of using destructive devices in a crime. And on February 28, 2011, she was sentenced to life in prison. Marjorie died of breast cancer in prison on April 4th, 2017 at the age of 68. Keith Barnes died in prison on June 20th, 2009 at the age of either 64 or 65. From what I found, it's undetermined on what year he was, when his actual day of birth was, just his year of birth.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So there is a little bit of pop culture with this. So the comedy movie 30 Minutes or Less is very similar to the Brian Wells case.
Which is how I recognized it when you told me about it. I was like, what? The movie?
Yeah. It was criticized by Brian's family, but Sony claimed that the filmmakers were completely unaware of this case when they made it.
Well, it was very similar, but they used a younger guy instead of an older guy. And they didn't make him involved. And they made like a romantic storyline in it.
Yeah.
But it is Hollywood and they exaggerate things. So to make it big, I can see them, quote, not knowing and changing things, right?
So now, if you want to watch something more accurate, Netflix recently came out with a 4-part docuseries about the case called Evil Genius, The True Story of America's Most Diabolical Bank Heist. I suggest that if you want to learn more about this case, then watch it. It's a super weird case, and there's definitely more to it that I didn't add. Because it's so much back and forth between them trying to figure it all out. Now, fun facts trivia. Kenneth was a diabetic.
Interesting.
Kenneth, Marjorie, and William all seem to have troubles with compulsive hoarding.
Was it like clutter hoarding, or was it like, yeah, hoarding? Never mind. I'm gonna scratch that.
Like they could be on an episode of Hoarders.
Well, I mean, I could be on an episode of Hoarders for plants, but
yeah. The big one is not pointing me today. And by the way,
I moved it over for you.
And I might sound a little bit better because I'm actually back to recording with Olivia in person today, guys.
Yes. It's been so long.
I know. So the roommate Floyd Stockton was granted immunity for his testimony against Marjorie, but was never called to testify in court due to illness. The bomb collar was actually still intact after, and Brian had to be decapitated to remove it.
Oh, no. That's kind of...
Yeah.
That's pretty morbid.
And lastly, a bunch of people actually theorized that before they knew what had happened, that this was actually a terrorist attack because it happened just under 2 years of 9/11.
Yeah, I could see the panic of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that is my case for you and everybody else in listening. Did you learn anything that you didn't know?
Well, like I said, I've seen 30 minutes or less. I didn't know it was actually based on a true story until you were like, I'm doing the pizza bomber, and I'm like, wait. Like, are they the same thing?
So it's different, yes.
Yeah. Good movie, though. Good movie.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever actually watched it.
It's funny.
Yeah. I'm sure I have. I've seen so many movies that it's literally not even funny.
It's your type of movie, too.
Probably. I'm not just all about serial killer documentaries.
Gotta have comedy to, counteract all the, serial killers and other true crime and paranormal stuff.
Right. So, do you think Brian was involved, or do you think that he was all done by force?
Hard to say, especially because he is no longer here to make his case. Not that he could, tell the truth or lie anyways, even if he was. But it did seem a little fishy that Marjorie said he was involved after she was in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'd think if you'd want to get out of prison, that's something you would say before. Be like, no, I didn't have as much involvement as you think because of this.
Yeah. They had a chance to all get away with it, and then she used it as a bargaining tool to get into a minimum security. It makes me wonder if she hadn't spoken up, if it would have been solved.
Yeah. I don't know, it's hard to say, because, part of me is yeah, it makes sense that he is, because of, especially, how casual he was about it from witness accounts.
Mm-hmm.
But then, at the same time, he was absolutely terrified when they had him in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So it's maybe he didn't, but I mean, at the same time, if he did have involvement and he thought it was a fake bomb, you're haha, just kidding.
Yeah, I feel like he was fully involved and on board to get the money until he realized, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
Well, I mean, at the time, he was probably a minimum wage pizza man. Mm-hmm. I can imagine wanting to rob a bank.
I've thought about it.
We've all had the thought, but we don't go through with it.
So anyways, what do you have for all of our fine listeners today?
Love
you guys. Said love you guys.
Oh, love it. Today I am doing, it's kind of it's a little bit of a combination topic between shadow people, a little bit of shadow demons, sleep paralysis, and the Hat Man.
What the fuck is the Hat Man?
Well, we'll get into it.
I'm sure you guys have seen Olivia dropping a lot of shadow people hints on her Instagram lately, too.
Yeah,
the last couple days.
I'm trying to do that with my cases, because then I know I have to fully commit to it, instead of changing it, the night before we record, because I'm like, you know what? I want to do something else. So, at least this way, it's a commitment for it, right? So...
And by the way, we have hit 850 followers on Instagram, and I just want to say thank you to all of you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we're almost to 1,000. Tell your friends.
Also, real quick, before I get into my case, we were also guests recently on Horror vs. Reality. If you guys want to listen to the episode, check them out. They're on your streaming services. I know they're on Spotify.
They're also on Podbean.
Yep. And we're on there too, so you can kill two birds with one stone and listen to both of us.
Yes. Huge shout out to them, and thank you for having us on there.
Yes, thank you so much. We are so excited that we are now friends with you guys, and we can't wait until one day when we can actually meet you guys when the pandemic's over. All right. You wake up in the dark. Oh, how you hate the dark. Your only source of light is the moonlight that is sneaking in through the window, resting upon your face. You're alone. You can't really see anything, and suddenly you get the feeling of dread wash over you. You hear something shuffling. You try to hide under your covers. You know the blankets will save you, but you can't move or speak. You are just laying there, paralyzed. You start to panic as you hear whispers in the dark. You see a dark shadow-like figure with a hat standing in your doorway. You panic even more. Did someone break in? Am I about to die? You hear shuffling once again. You close your eyes, hoping this is all just a dream. After a couple of minutes, you open them. The person is standing right next to your bed. You suddenly feel pressure on your chest. As they lean in closer, those two glowing red eyes staring right into your soul. You can't move. You're frozen. And as they move into the moonlight, you realize it's the shadow person's leader, the Hat Man. Spooky, spooky. Ooh. I wrote that trying to recreate a scene for sleep paralysis in case nobody really knows what it is. But
poetry.
I will, but I'm going to explain that in a bit. First, I'm going to get into what is a shadow figure or a shadow person.
Tell me, please.
So, is it the trick of the light? Your eyes playing tricks? Maybe it's just the outline of a coat or a towel. No, it just has to be the clothes in your closet.
Duh.
A shadow figure is a supernatural being that has been around since the beginning of time itself. A creature that is so old, people of all races and religions have been making claims of seeing shadow figures throughout history. I was reading a few posts on the subreddit Shadow People as I was trying to get some descriptions from people who have witnessed them. A Redditor made a post asking what people's religions are and experiences, and it got into a bunch of people from around the world, you know, commenting, telling their stories and stuff. It's actually really informative, you know.
Neat.
Reading some people's experiences. I highly recommend you check it out.
No.
Reddit's a great place.
No. No, Reddit's great. I'm sorry.
Some people in there claimed that they have been taunted or watched by shadow people for years.
Stalkers.
Yeah, that's something I didn't really know. Others experience them during sleep paralysis, and they have been described as something that is pretty much pitch black or has a smoky appearance or movement. So I'm going to guess, like, you know, mist moving, like a cloud of smoke.
All right.
Similar movements like that.
Okay.
Or maybe like liquidy, like a watery movement. What I mean?
I think I pick it up what you're laying down there, bro.
Yeah. It has it's humanoid in shape, sometimes with red or yellow eyes. Likes to play tricks on people.
Is it Loki?
Maybe.
Figured it out. Solved it. Mystery solved. We're done.
It's my cat.
Oh, what the fuck did I kick?
Oh, just the dehumidifier. No, the humidifier, not the dehumidifier.
Do you have one of each? Are you Millhouse?
Nope, just the humidifier.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
They have always been something that you see just out of the corner of your eyes. But more recently, people have been seeing them a lot more often than not.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe something supernatural is coming. I don't know.
Maybe it's all the supermoons we've had lately.
Maybe.
It seems like we've had a ton in the last couple years, and I swear I never heard about them before that. You know what I mean?
There's been a lot, even just this year.
Yeah. Like, we just recently had that strawberry one.
Yes, and it was the last supermoon of the year.
But it's only June.
I know. There's still going to be full moons, don't worry.
Whatever.
They just won't be super full moons.
Super full. They're just like regular full. They're not super full.
Not super full. People have also been having more face-to-face time with them for long, and also longer periods of time. So it's not like it's just the flicker out of the corner of your eye. It's, I'm standing right here watching you. How do you feel?
Are you telling me that people are calling, like, shadow people on FaceTime?
Pretty much. Or they're just lurking, standing down the hall watching you.
Sup, bro? Wanna watch a movie?
Well, if they're gonna be here, they best be paying some fucking rent.
I'm such a jackass when you do your cases. You realize that?
Yeah, I know, but it's funnier because we can joke around about my stuff a lot more than we can joke around about the stuff you cover.
Yeah, I've been recently listening to, like, all of our podcasts to try and kind of, you know, get a, I don't know, listen to us, whatever. And, yes, I listen to myself. I'm a little bit, what is that, condescending? Conceited. There's the word. And I noticed that I'm kind of a jackass through a lot of your cases, and I apologize.
No, I think it's funny.
Okay, excellent.
Keep doing it.
If people think I'm funny, let me know.
I do. And I know your mom does.
She's my mom. She doesn't count.
So, like I said before, they also make appearances during sleep paralysis and can appear to people hallucinating after ingesting methamphetamine. Oh, and they will also linger around certain people for up to years at a time. Oh, like I said, movements are very similar to float-in, mist-in, or smoke movements, or, you know, liquidy.
Excellent.
Yeah. But where did they come from?
I don't know.
Why are they here?
I don't know.
Are they even real?
I don't know.
Could they just be a figment of our imagination?
Perhaps.
Are they due to side effects from psychological factors?
LSD.
Or are they just tricks from our peripheral vision?
Perhaps.
I actually said it right that time. As it is meant to pick up movement, so, you know, you could be thinking shadows are just movement, right?
Don't tell me what my eyes do.
I will. So, shadow people believe, or some people believe shadow people are demons. They could also be ghosts, tricksters.
Loki.
Yes, exactly. Interdimensional beings, time travelers, aliens, or like I said, it's just sleep paralysis.
Like people making this shit up in their head?
Nope.
Because of the sleep paralysis?
Because here, I'm about to get into a quick tidbit, or as I want to call it, a quick timbit about sleep paralysis.
But
So, sleep paralysis is when you wake up during your REM cycle. Your mind is then awake, but your body is not, which explains why you have a paralysis-like feeling. Because only your eyes and your brain are kind of working, but only 50%.
Noted.
Yup. You are also unable to move or speak, right? So people who experience these episodes have a feeling of vulnerability and can feel a pressure sometimes on their chest.
All right.
Some people hallucinate because, like I said, you are awake during mid-REM cycle. Now, the REM cycle is where you're dreaming.
Yeah.
So this is where the hallucinations could come in. You're dreaming them, but you're visually seeing them.
And your body don't like its REM messed
Yeah,
up.
and it's because your brain is like half awake but half asleep. It's mixing the reality and dream together, basically. So some people, when they hallucinate, they see shadow figures or sleep paralysis demons on top of them, or just hanging out in the room.
So that's what this like heavy feeling on your chest is you see someone sitting on it.
Sometimes you see, and it doesn't even have to be like a shadow figure or a demon. It could be anything, like a monster, whatever you're dreaming. If it's sitting on top of you, it's gonna look like it could be crawling up you, climbing up you. It's basically a nightmare happening in reality because you are visually seeing it, but it's your dream.
Ugh. You said crawling up me, and I just pictured the giant spiders from Harry Potter sitting on me, and I'm like,
oh, yes, I love Harry Potter. So some people also experience choking or breathing issues.
Well, that's just kinky.
Hey. Maybe it's an incubus.
That doesn't sound like a bad time at all.
So, up to 40% of people experience sleep paralysis at least once in their lifetime.
Have you?
No, I have not.
I also have not. Thankfully.
Not everyone also gets the luxury of experiencing the demons or, these crazy hallucinations. Well, not crazy,
Luxury.
these hallucinations. And sleep paralysis could be due to breathing issues while sleeping. Like,
Could sleep apnea be?
Sleep apnea. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry.
Apnea.
Yeah. Loss of sleep, stress, jet lag, alcohol, heartburn, PTSD, high anxiety, and other sleeping conditions like insomnia or narcolepsy. Which is an insane condition to have. Like, have you heard of narcolepsy?
I've been tested for it, so yes.
Yes. Yeah, where you fall asleep randomly, that is...
Heartburn. Really, I would not think that heartburn could, fuck your body up that much.
I guess, unless it's really bad. I also heard once that people who... it happens more to people who sleep on their back than on their stomach or side.
I'm a side sleeper. I cuddle a little stuffed animal. I've got a pillow shoved between my knees, and I'm on my side.
I sleep it just depends. I stay kind of pretty still when I sleep. I don't toss and turn a whole lot. I don't move around.
My kid's violent when she sleeps.
I stay very stationary, but if I fall asleep in one position, I normally wake up in the same position. I'm one of those sleepers.
Doesn't that hurt?
No.
Oh. I always find that if I fall asleep and then I wake up in the exact same I had a heavy sleep that I'm so sore on that side.
I do if I sleep on my stomach because my lower back gets really sore.
Well, now I know that it's okay to share a tent with you someday or something. That if I ever have to sleep next to you
I'm
in
the
my
perfect
life,
person for that because I stay right there.
My bony elbows will definitely jam into your back at some point. And I'm a blanket hug.
Oh, so's Nick. Don't worry. I'm used to it.
Okay. But I do know that stress can actually cause a lot to your body, so I'm not surprised with that one at all.
Well, same with the PTSD and anxiety because that all is very in the same... They're very similar because they're all stress related, right?
But stress can fuck you up. Like we mentioned in the exorcism of Annalise there.
Yeah.
That it can cause bedwetting.
Yep.
Your brains are messy. I dislike brains.
I wish we knew a lot more about brains than we do.
When I die, scientists take my brain.
You can take mine too. Yeah.
If the aliens haven't got it by then.
No. Okay. Scratch that. I want my body to be donated to extraterrestrials. And then they can do whatever they want.
I want mine donated to science. And then
Mine's going to be to the science of extraterrestrials. And yeah, they're going to make me a hybrid. And then I'm going to come back to life and I'm going to be an alien.
And then I want to be cremated. Cremated with salt, and then my ashes spread into Lake Erie.
Ooh.
It's
With
illegal.
Bessie. With Bessie. You'll hang out with Bessie.
Anyways.
So some people have woken up during sleep paralysis episodes and seen shadow figures, like I said, sitting on top of them, holding down, or choking them.
Yep.
Eyewitness accounts of shadow people are very similar to alien encounters. And they are also very similar to ghost encounters.
Of course.
But yeah, that's right. I definitely had to find aliens being involved in this. So
If you could find aliens for everything, you would.
I will. Aliens are always involved.
Again, me listening to our podcast recently, both times that I covered, or both of the podcasts when I'm talking about DB Cooper, you kept going, aliens. And then at one point I was finally like, shut up! It's not aliens. Shut up! Best friends can be rude to each other.
We love each other, we promise.
Gross. People might think I know you. Stop.
Oh, okay. So, could shadow people be spirits who haven't realized they have passed and are wandering this plane in a shadowy condition instead of a light?
Nice theory. I like
Yeah.
it. I like that theory.
Yeah, it's a good theory. Good theory.
That's a great theory, Olivia.
Yes. Like I said, they can appear like a thick pitch black mist or vapor. They've always been seen alone, never in a group. Are they shadow people? Or, sorry, are shadow people a glitch between dimensions?
No.
No, you don't think so?
No. Something I don't believe. No.
We'll change that one day.
No.
Are
Prove it!
Are they aliens in a good old invisibility cloak?
No. There's no aliens in Harry Potter. Stop it. Those are wizards.
Maybe shadow figures are on time travelers when doing time jumps, and like I said, it's like a glitch almost.
No.
They're time jumping, and then they glitch out, and all you just see is a random shadow. I
No.
think there was like a Doctor Who episode similar to that.
No.
Good show, good show. Doctor Who, please sponsor us. I would be forever grateful.
She's a little obsessed.
Yeah.
See, I love Disney, but I don't think they'd support us.
I would love for Disney to support us. But Kendrah, she saw me fangirl when I met Karen Gillian from Doctor Who, and I was dressed up as the 11th Doctor. It was great.
I thought you were gonna pee right there at Fan Expo. Like, I swear to God.
I had my puffer in my hand. I was trying to keep it cool as much as I could. Hashtag nerd alert.
Nerd.
So, shadow figures are aware, smart, and can change the shape and jump through different dimensions. People experience an overwhelming sense of dread during their encounters. They also may experience sadness, anger, terror, uneasy, and terrible thoughts. No one,
Rude.
to this day, from what I could find, has made a positive comment on their experience.
Rude.
So, yeah,
Maybe they're just nice people.
I was gonna say maybe they're
They're just misunderstood.
understand us, please. I know we're different. We come in peace. So there are many different types of shadow figures throughout history, different shapes and sizes, some more harmless than others. From what I could find, a lot of people said the Hat Man was the worst of them all and could be a demonic figure.
You never told me who that is.
Yes, we're about to get into that.
Thank you.
He is also seen wearing a hat and a suit, so he's super fancy and fly as fuck.
Well, it makes sense that the Hat Man would wear a hat. If he didn't, that'd be a silly name.
It would be a silly name.
Why is he called the Hat Man? Because he doesn't wear a hat. Why is it called the Honey Bee, or the Honey...
the Honey Island swamp when
Yeah,
there's no
because I seen
honeybees?
a bee one time.
Basically.
I seen a bee once.
A bee. So, like I said, he's supposed to be the worst of them all, but after people were saying that, nobody was saying really their experiences with him. Like, they just... And, like, the information that I found on him, he doesn't seem overly mean. He just seems kind of creepy. So, the Hat Man is a humanoid, shadow-like being in a long trench coat with a hat and red eyes. Others claim they can't see his eyes or any facial features at all, as his face is completely blacked out by darkness.
Okay.
He is a tall motherfucker, estimated to about 6 feet. Some ufologists believe he is of alien descent, as most people have witnessed him, like, they wake up and he's been watching them sleep. Yeah. So, I guess clearly he's making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna find out if your soul tastes nice. It's the Hat Man coming for you.
Ha 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 ha.
I'm funny sometimes.
You're just all about the poetry today.
Yeah. It works pretty well with this. So,
This is our funniest episode yet.
it probably has to be the funniest one yet. He is said to hang out in doorways or a nice dark corner,
Makes sense.
which some people believe also leans more towards the alien theory, because he's just hovering above them while they sleep. And that's similar to people's alien experiences.
So aliens are perverts?
I guess so. Any aliens listening to us, please email us at bloodgutsandbooze@gmail.com and tell us if you are a pervert or if you are just here to study us.
Why are you standing in the corner watching me sleep?
To probe you, that's his lie.
And, but it also leans towards the sleep paralysis theory because he's hovering above them, right? You know, it's hard. I guess it really just depends what you want to believe. Some people have also witnessed him during the day. He has been seen before or after an extremely traumatic event. Does this make him a demon for being drawn to negative vibes? But my real question to you, Kendrah, and our listeners is, do you believe in shadow people?
All right, so first off, I don't know why, but the Hat Man, he really reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, but The Babadook.
It's on my list to watch, but I haven't watched it yet because we all know how good I am with watching movies that people recommend me.
Shawshank Redemption.
Still haven't watched it.
And now even Tanya is yelling at her for it. But he really makes me think of that Babadook. Because he's like
I've seen the trailer, yeah.
Well, he's a super, super tall guy. He's got a hat. He, like, for part of it, he's like a shadow on the wall and stuff.
I wonder if maybe it is like a connection theory, maybe.
Yeah. I watched it with a friend of mine, and we watched it together. We started this whole marathon of watching horror movies, but whatever. Anyways, we started with that one because it looked really, really creepy in the trailer. But first off, it is extremely quiet. It is extremely long and very, very boring. So, like, I suggest, like, watch it to, like, if you want to know the lore or whatever. Or
Yeah.
if it's from something, whatever.
I think it's a European film. Isn't that a German film?
I'm not sure. I believe it is it's the story or whatever. I believe it's I think it's British. Perhaps? I don't know.
I thought it had subtitles.
Giggle it.
Yeah.
No, they talk in it. Here, whoa, wait.
Babadook real. PTSD. True story.
So yeah, just look up, like a picture. Yeah, right here, like that picture.
Yeah, he does look similar to the Babadook.
So the Babadook really reminds me of the Hat Man, but I mean, I've been being a jackass this entire segment of your stuff, and I'm sorry. If you have ever experienced something traumatic like this, then I apologize for being an asshole.
We're comedians, it happens.
I understand that it's probably traumatic for you, and I'm really sorry. But I don't really think that they're real. I think it's probably more likely your mind playing tricks on you.
Yeah, so like, the trick of the light out of the side of your eye, and so you're more of the sleep paralysis theory. Also with shadow figures, and probably, the ingestion of methamphetamine as to why you see shadow figures. Mm-hmm. Which I didn't really go into that one too much detail. I don't know why, I just didn't bother to look that part up. I figured, hey, that's enough. I get it. You're on meth. I get you're seeing shit. Don't need to deep dive too much to get that. But yeah, as much as I want to believe it's aliens, I also see more of that side than anything else because it's the more realistic theory to shadow people.
And like I said before, stress can fuck your brain.
Mm-hmm. And like, I know people. My cousin said he's had sleep paralysis. He said my little poem-like story thing I wrote at the beginning was, pretty,
bang
on dot for that. So he said it's actually, like, pretty scary,
I can imagine.
Yeah, waking up, not being able to move, and then seeing shit, I'd probably piss myself, to be honest. But as for the Hat Man and other shadow people, yeah, it's probably hopefully, just the trick of the light. I do know a couple people, one of my friends from work has seen shadow people.
Lies.
Well, nah, she's good people.
She's a liar.
No, she's seen them quite a few times.
I want proof.
Yeah, send us in. I'll tell her to submit a story of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listener story.
Yeah. But for any of our listeners, have you seen shadow people? Have you experienced sleep paralysis? Have you seen the Hat Man? If so, what are your experiences and what was it like? We want to know. So email us at bloodgutsandbooze@gmail.com.
And, emailing us your stories and stuff, you can also say, like, it can be a story that you don't want us to read on our listener stories.
Yeah, we don't have to read it. If you just wanted to tell us just to share to get, a peace of mind, by all means, we're here to listen. We respect people's privacy. Mm-hmm. Yep. We're not gonna intrude.
Expose you.
Yeah, we're not gonna intrude if that's not what you want, but if you still wanted to share it to us, by all means, you're more than welcome. Even if anybody didn't want to share their name for any personal stories they have, you don't have to. We can say anonymous.
Yep.
No, we're not gonna force you to tell your stories or your name if you're uncomfortable. But we do want to hear your guys' experiences, whether they're shared on air or not.
Also, if we're being totally 100% honest, Olivia is the only one that, like, reads the emails. I don't. Emails are her thing. So,
They're so organized.
If it was an anonymous, if it was an anonymous listener story that I was writing, I wouldn't even know your name. So, it'd really only be one person.
And I won't tell your secret.
Create a new email if you have to. That's, whatever.
But yeah, that's my case. So, yeah.
Before we go, I just want to give one last shout out to Horror vs. Reality. Yes. I suggest that you go listen to our crossover episode with them on theirs.
Anna and Morgan are amazing, and we love them already.
Yes, to get you interested, their podcast, basically, they break down a horror movie versus the real life horror or
True crime event.
true crime event that inspired the movie or is what the movie is based off of. And the one that we did with them was The Strangers versus the Ketty Cabin Murders.
I actually didn't know. I've heard of that because I do listen to a lot of true crime podcasts. So I've heard of so many different cases, but whether or not I actually remember them is a completely different story. I have heard this case. I didn't think I did at first. I did. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot more information that I didn't know that I clearly did not remember either from other podcasts. And they did a great job covering it and the movie. And their intro is amazing. Check it out. It is so creepy and I'm in love with it. It's great.
So we just wanted to give one last big shout out to them and their amazing podcast. And we hope that you guys hear us next week. And I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's all, guys.
All right. So bye-bye. Stay spooky.
Goodbye.
Hope you all see shadow people tonight in your dreams.
Spooky, spooky. Knock, knock. It's the Hat Man, motherfuckers.
Babadook.
Special thanks to Dylan Sears for the theme song and Sally Gunter for the cover art. Support us on Patreon and like, share, rate, and subscribe to us on all of our social media pages and your podcast streaming service. Do you have any personal stories or suggestions for the show? Email us at bloodgutsandbooze@gmail.com.